In example 2, we are going to convert the given angle, which is 29.411 degrees, into this format, which is the degrees, minutes, and seconds format. Okay, and it tells you to round your answer to the nearest second. Okay, so if you scroll back up, okay, this first rule right here tells you how to convert from decimal degrees to degrees, minutes, and seconds. So decimal degrees, that is what we were given. We have this angle, it's in degrees, and it's in a decimal format. You do not see the primes representing the minute or second notation. So this is what we mean by decimal degrees, and we are asked to turn that into this degrees, minutes, and seconds format. Okay, so reading through that statement again, it was kind of confusing if you remember reading through it the first time in the last video. It tells you that the whole number part of the angle is d, which is the number of degrees, and then you've got to multiply the decimal part of the angle by 60, and then the whole number part of that answer is the number of minutes, and then to find the number of seconds, you need to multiply the new remaining decimal part by 60 and round. Okay, yeah, that's confusing. Okay, so let's try to make sense of this. Okay, so what you're trying to do is take 29.411 degrees and convert it into the number of degrees, the number of minutes, and the number of seconds. Okay, so remember, minutes and seconds are just further subdivisions of one single degree. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Like I said, we're going to try to make sense of this statement that above. Okay, so when you look at the decimal degree version, I mean, if you just read it to yourself, 29.411 degrees. Okay, so you've got 29 whole degrees, and then you've got some change left over. Okay, and that's the 0.411. Okay, so immediately you can write down that 29 is going to be the D part. Okay, there are 29 whole degrees. Okay, and then there's part of another degree, the 0.411, and that is what we are going to convert into the minutes and seconds part. Okay, all right, so let us work on the minute part. Okay, all right, so we're going to begin with, we've already taken care of the 29, so we're going to work on the 0.411. Okay, so the way I'm actually going to write this, I'm kind of going to do this logically, and hopefully this will make a lot more sense than the statement that was above. Even though what I'm doing is really what the statement says, that statement was a bit confusing. All right, so if I'm writing down 29.411 degrees, it is the same thing as 29 whole degrees plus 0.411 degrees. Okay, both of those numbers are in degrees. Okay, so if you take 29 whole degrees, okay, the whole number part, and then add the fractional or the decimal part, okay, both of these are in degrees. If you add them up, you get the full 29.411 degrees. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so I've got 29 degrees. We've taken care of the D part. We know that's 29. Okay, so we need to handle this decimal part. Okay, so this is how we're going to think of it. Okay, so we're still adding, okay, 0.411, okay, times, okay, this 0.411 is measured in degrees. What do we know about degrees? We know that 1 degree is equal to 60 minutes. Okay, so one degree is equal to 60 minutes. Okay, so we're going to take the 0.411, which is basically the fraction of the number of degrees that we have, and we know that there's 60 minutes in 1 degree. Okay, basically, let me write this a little clearer. Okay, just so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so the 0.411 degrees, we're multiplying it by a conversion factor. We're multiplying by a fraction. Okay, we want degrees to cancel out, and we want to be left with minutes. Okay, we know that 1 degree is the same thing as 60 minutes. Okay, so this quantity right here, this fraction, okay, it's equivalent to 1. Okay, 60 minutes, which is in the numerator, it is the same thing as 1 degree, okay? Anything divided by itself is 1, okay? So this 0.411 degrees, we're really multiplying it by 1, so we're not changing the quantity that we're dealing with, okay? All right, so what will happen here, okay? I'm going to use a different color here. We have degrees in the numerator and degrees in the denominator. They will cancel out and you will be left with minutes, okay? So let's do this. We're still going to have 29 degrees plus we need to go to the calculator and do the calculation 0.411 times 60. Okay, so let's go do that. Okay, so let's do 0.411 times 60, and this number that's spit out, which is 24.66, this is measured in minutes. Okay, all right, so we get 24.66. The degrees canceled, we're left with minutes. Okay, all right, so let's keep going. Okay, so we still have 29 whole degrees plus, now we've got to examine this decimal. This decimal has a whole part and it has a decimal part, okay? And the whole entire number is measured in minutes, okay? So the whole part is saying that we have 24 whole minutes, okay? And then we have a fraction, a small portion of another minute. Okay, so we can rewrite this guy, the 24.66 minutes, as 24 whole minutes plus 0.66 minutes. Okay, all right, now we're going to multiply by another conversion factor to bring in the seconds. Okay, all right, so next line we still have 29 whole degrees plus 24 whole minutes plus, we're going to rewrite this, okay? We have 0.66, we have minutes here, and we're going to multiply by the conversion factor, okay? We need to introduce seconds, okay? So you're going to want the minutes to go away. So since you have minutes in the numerator, minutes are going to go in the bottom, and you're going to want to introduce seconds, which is the double prime, so that will go into the numerator. Okay, so at the end of the day, once you put the numbers in, you'll have minutes in the numerator, minutes in the denominator. They'll cancel and leave you with the seconds portion. Okay, so what is the relationship between minutes and seconds? So go back up here. We know that 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Okay, so we're going to write that in. We know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. Okay, so we need to go back to our calculator and do the 0.66 times 60, okay? Once we get that number, remember, the minutes in the top will cancel with the minutes in the bottom, and you'll be left with seconds, okay? So let's return to the calculator and do 0.66 times 60. Boom, there you go. You get 39.6. So let's go write that down, okay? All right, so I'm running out of room here. So let's write down 29 whole degrees plus 24 whole minutes plus, I've already forgotten what I got on the calculator, 39.6 seconds. Okay. All right. So we've basically done it. Okay, it's now you see the degrees, you see the minutes, and you see the seconds. Okay, they are all added together. Why? Because you need the degree part, you need the minute part, and you need the seconds part to make the whole angle. It was built from each of these parts. Okay, so if you go back to the directions, it says round your answer to the nearest second. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put in approximately here. We're going to round the seconds. So this is going to be approximately, and I'm going to go ahead and use the degree, minutes, seconds notation. So this is going to be 29 degrees, 24 minutes, and then 39.6 will round up to 40 seconds. Okay, so this is going to be your answer. Okay, so basically the decimal degree angle, 29.411 degrees. If you convert that over to degrees, minutes, and seconds, it converts to 29 degrees and 29 degrees, 24 minutes, and 40 seconds.